All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great men, stone who will teach where our land is true from. Peace, mercy, and blessings to the hopeful elect that believe in this truth and sincerity. It's your brother Yahweh Khan, come back through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, from the GMS Cleveland branch. And Lord willing, it to be edifying. And Lord willing, through the Spirit, I'm going to title this, The Just Shall Live by Faith / the Centurion. You know, just quicking through the Spirit. You know, one of the latest controversies, I think it was Deacon Hakai, claiming that the Centurion who had faith was the Edomite, you know, out of all nations, the Edomite. But nonetheless, gonna get some precepts, you know, just to back up the point that he was not an Edomite. In fact, he was an Israelite, and his precepts to support that, you know. But this is the book of Matthew, chapter 8 and verse 8. The centurion answered and said, Lord, Salakia. Verse 5. Matthew 8 and 5, when Yahweh Shah was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him. Okay, now what was Yahweh Shah doing? He was doing miracles, okay? And a lot of the miracles he was doing, once he did them, to the ones he was doing them unto, they would go telling others, okay? And certain ones of who was being told about the miracles he was doing had faith, and that faith was being activated by them hearing. Okay, let's go from there to Romans chapter 10. Start at verse 14 right to the point. No, yeah, verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Okay, and the Lord name is Yahweh Shai, not JC. Okay, his true and only name, Acts 4 and 12. It's only one name, Yahweh Shai. Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, which means he to be. You know. So it says, verse 14, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Okay, going into the pushing forth for the word. How will somebody hear the word? How will somebody believe on the word? Believe on Yahweh Shah they haven't heard? How will they hear if it's like, how will somebody believe on Yahweh Shah they have not heard? And how will they hear if someone is not preaching? Okay, and relating that to the Centurion account, how would, and many other accounts, how would them people have heard about the miracles if somebody didn't come telling them? Okay, we're reading on verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. You see, just as the men of the Lord is going about preaching the word, and even back then when his disciples was going about preaching the word, okay, down to those who the miracles was done to, went about telling about the miracles. And that was activating the faith of those who was given that gift. Okay? And that gift was given only to the nation of Israel. You know? Ephesians 2 and 8. But verse 16, it says, but they have not all obeyed the gospel. Okay? Everybody not going to believe. You're going to have Israelites that's not going to believe. Okay? Or, you know, for Isaiah said, Lord, who hath believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. Okay. Faith cometh by hearing. Okay, now Edom does not have faith. The Most High is not in all his thoughts, you know. Let's go from there to the book of Psalms. So like it's Psalms chapter 10, right to the point. In verse 4, the wicked through the pride, okay, the wicked Esau Edom is classified as the wicked. The so-called white man is classified as the wicked. In Habakkuk chapter 2, it says, the just shall live by his faith. So for the centurion to be an Edomite and have faith, that's calling the Edomite just. But nonetheless, Psalm 10:4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. Having faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that's the beginning of seeking after him, cleaving unto him. Let me go to this real quick. I think it's in, okay, Sirach 25:12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love, and faith, okay, that belief, that hope, that trusting, just as the centurion had trusted that the Lord could heal his servant. Okay, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Okay, sticking to something. Okay, because cleave is synonym for sticking. You know, and you're not going to hang on to something you don't trust, you don't hope in. So Psalms 10:4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High, will not cleave unto the Most High. We know the Most High is not in all his thoughts. Okay, the wicked Esau Edom. You know, so let's go back to Matthew chapter 8, verse 5. And when Yahweh was entered to Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home. My servant lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Yahweh said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. You see that? He said all Yahweh had to do was speak the word. Okay, so let's go from there to Psalms chapter 5. Okay, because for the centurion to be an Edomite, that's calling him, he comes from the seed of the wicked. But guess what? Psalms chapter 5, this is speaking of the wicked. Okay, you see a prayer for protection from the wicked. We're going to start at verse 4. For thou art not a power to have pleasure in wickedness, and the seed of the wicked does wickedly. So why would the Lord be going around healing the wicked? Okay, doing miracles for the wicked. Okay, so for thou art not a power to have pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Okay. Apostle Hart said, why would the Satan, well, Reno said, let's read that again. Psalms 5:5. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing, which means lies. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. Okay, the bloody and deceitful man is Esau Edom. His descendants will be the Edomites. Abhor means to detest. Okay, to want no dealings with. Okay, if you detest something, why would you be trying to bring some type of benefit to it? Okay, in the form of miracles. Okay, read on. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. Lead me, O Lord, in thy righteousness because of my enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. This is the point, verse 9. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Speaking of who? The wicked, those who speak leasing, the bloody and deceitful man, the workers of iniquity. Psalms 5:9. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. What comes forth from your mouth? Your words. Okay, we know their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulcher. They flatter with their tongue. Okay. But the point being, there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Edomite will not be speaking faithful words. Okay. Going back to what the centurion said to Yahushua, Matthew 8. In verse 8, the centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. This is what he said out of his mouth, faithful words, words filled with faith. Okay. Renowned, for I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. Okay, and another thing too just came to mind. Back in slavery, okay, during that 350-year period, even if you go 100 years ago, if Jake was to get injured, so to speak, on the plantation, the slave master, okay, Esau, so-called white man, wasn't praying to JC to heal Jake. Okay, he was letting Jake suffer. So for this to be an Edomite, this to be the children of the wicked, which we know it was the wicked that had us in slavery during that 350-year period, that would mean that this man would have supposed to have the same spirit. Okay, his servant was sick. You know, but it says, let's read it again, Matthew 8 and 9. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. When Yahushua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily, okay, meaning truly, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. Okay, so great faith, no, not in Israel. Because you had, once again, Israelites that didn't believe. And for him to come up to Yahushua and say out of his mouth, okay, because he had that faith in him, and that manifested in the faithfulness that was in his mouth, for him to say out of his mouth to Yahushua, all he had to do was speak, and the servant would be healed. That showed he had great faith. We'll go to Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. Speaking of the difference between Jacob and Esau. Okay, the descendants of Jacob being the Israelites, the nation of Israel, okay, which have been scattered, which look like many other nations, okay, might go by the bywords of the other nations, okay, whether they might be called the so-called Chinese, it's like a so-called whatever nation, because the nation of Israel is scattered, but nonetheless it says, Habakkuk 2 and 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Let's go into that word, upright. Okay, it says Yashar, which is where you get Yashawan from. Okay, which is a nickname for Israel. It's like if Israel, it says to be right, be straight, be level, be upright, be just. Okay, the soul inside of the Edomite is not just, which is a synonym for righteous, to be lawful. Okay, this man passes laws here in this present evil world. He passes laws, his own laws that are contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. For it to be legal for a man to marry another man, woman to marry another woman. Why? Because the soul within him is not just. It is not lawful. Okay. It's like, yeah, that's the point. The soul within the Edomites is not in any way, shape, or form capable of righteousness. And we know since Yahushua came, okay, even prior to that, but specifically since Yahushua came, Righteousness is through faith, okay? Through faith. But that is not within the seed of the wicked, okay? Their inward part is wickedness, as I read in Psalms 5th chapter. But it says, but the just shall live by his faith. So like here, the word for just, Tazadayak, which goes back to Tazadak, which means righteousness or righteous or just. It says just, lawful, righteous. Okay. It says righteous is justified and vindicated by the Most High. And we know the ones who will be justified by the Most High is the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, for having righteousness, which is of faith. Okay, this says this Centurion had faith, which will make him righteous in a sense. But that's pretty much the point, you know. Only the nation of Israel, in particular the elect, will have faith, okay, and very great faith, to the point where they will believe that the Lord will feed them when it looks as if there is no way to eat, so on and so forth. But Lord willing, this was edifying. Closing, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, the great millstone, rule, will, teach, where I let this truth from, peace, mercy, and blessings to the hopeful elect that believe on this truth and sincerity. Till next time I say, Kwame Shalom, I'm going to walk like a ball, Shalom.